Look at this. There are 2,444 subscribers in my trading group, and we've been killing it. I want to give a few shout outs to my trading group. CBC, thank you so much. I'm up $13,000 this week. Your group's amazing. I made $47,000 in April because of your setups. This person's up 2,400, 1,500, 647%. This person doubled my money after a phone call that we had just yesterday. This person said, I woke up and I had 73% gains in data. Thank you. I woke up with 58% gains while I was sleeping. Another $1,000. That's $4,000 in 7 days. I've got a cryptocurrency trading group. I've got 6 chat groups where everybody's calling out breakouts, posting charts, working together to trade this market. I've got 41 videos in a playlist. If you don't know anything about trading at all, nothing, you can watch these videos. You'll be making profitable trades. Number one reason why people join my trading group is I post profitable trading setups every single day, and we've been killing it. If you guys want to join the cryptocurrency trading group, you want to pay in crypto, email me, cryptobitcoinchris@gmail.com. I'll get you set up and in the group today. You pay for 6 months in crypto, you get a 20% discount. You pay for the year in crypto, you get an additional month for free and a 30% discount. If you do want to pay with a card month to month on a monthly basis, you can do so. There's a Patreon link that's in the description. This is Tezos up 72%. You can see here's the setup posted. Here's 52% out of link. Again, bought the breakout down here. Here's the setup. Here's Ethereum, 57% gains out of Ethereum. Here's the setup. Bitcoin Cash broke out 60% gains over time. I want to thank everybody for watching Crypto Revolution. We talk about everything crypto daily. Before we jump into this video, I want to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, why not? I'm going to make sure you're very successful, very profitable in the cryptocurrency space. If you came to crypto for life-changing money, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep you updated daily. Technical analysis, Bitcoin, altcoin setups, all the news that's important moves this market. Jumping right into the market today in crypto. Don't forget to comment in the comment box. Bitcoin is at 9,400. Now, this is a 12-hour chart. Bitcoin broke down below this major trend line, this major white macro trend line. Not bullish. Okay, now potentially we have this rising wedge that's in play. Bitcoin did bounce, put in a pretty strong bounce here, and we're going to take a look at it on some of the lower term time frames. On the RSI, you've got a falling wedge, 68% chance at some point that breaks higher. If Bitcoin cannot basically break above about 9,500, there's some downside ahead. 9,000, 8,800, 8,500's in the cards. The bulls definitely need to show up here. This is a Bitcoin 4-hour chart, and we talked about this idea yesterday as far as this falling wedge, and you had volume confirmation. The price action had a nice bounce. You had bullish divergence that played out. You had a double bottom that was confirmed on the RSI, and now the RSI is getting rejected by this trend line down here. So also what's happening on the price action is you can see the price action getting rejected by the 200 simple moving average. So really the bulls, we want to see a move. So there's this yellow lower trend line, okay? And it's hard to say for sure exactly which trend line is the most valid one. At this point, very important that the bulls hold this level. And we want to see the bulls put in a higher high here. Now, if there is some type of a retrace, a smaller retrace, we want this next low to be a higher low. So this low here, potentially higher than this low, okay? Because this is the start of a downtrend. Because essentially you've got your high, low. This high right here is a lower high, lower low. This potentially could be a lower high. So again, Bitcoin starting to trend lower. In order for that to change, the Bitcoin bulls would have to show up and put in a higher high. Really, to build a bullish case, I want to see a break up here above about 96.50, and then we can start talking about bullish upside. I want to give a couple shout outs to my trading group, CDT. So I posted this setup May the 21st. So, it took 3 weeks to play out, 119% gains. The most important thing is patience with these altcoins. If you do not have a Binance account, what are you doing? Go trade some of these smaller altcoins. They're still moving really well. We still have a bunch of double-digit gainers. Still a solid day for these altcoins. Definitely, I highly recommend you use the Binance link to Binance International in the description. Possibly you're in the United States, you need to use PureVPN with it, but you got to take advantage. This is life-changing money happening right now, right before your eyes. Like, who's making a bunch of profits in Bitcoin? I mean, if you're shorting Bitcoin, you're trading with leverage. This gentleman has his own rule. Whatever the top performer is, he shorts it during a pullback. ADA, this gentleman up 62% in ADA. Oversold bounce. I talk to you guys about that all the time. 276% gains in Vechain. This person took 294% profits on a quick bounce. Same person stated, it's amazing, I've 3x'd my portfolio. Next person, up $7,000. Amazing gains, amazing progress in the trading group. This is LTO news. LTO has a bunch of news coming. LTO network tops 4 milestones for June and July. 11% total supply burn. What if they took all the dollar bills, all the fiat currency out there, and they burned 11% of it? What's that going to do to the value of the dollar? It's the opposite of printing fiat, right? And so these total supply burns, now a lot of times they take time to actually play out as far as the price goes, but it's like buy the hype, buy the hype, buy the hype type situation. They also have a new 2.0 deflationary tokenomics proposal, a third mainnet upgrade, and a new technical roadmap. So LTO, one to watch over time. A lot of this is going to happen June and July. So keep an eye on LTO. Somebody reached out to me, and I love this idea. Capitol Hill talks about using blockchain technology for the new Fed accounts and digital tools. They want to distribute the stimulus checks with essentially government payments with blockchain technology. My thing is, it's important to remember they're going to want to use private blockchains, right? Private blockchains. Cryptocurrency, generally speaking, is open source software. Okay, private blockchains are, potentially what a lot of corporations are going to go with. A lot of, the government, potentially they would build their own blockchain. So just know that there's definitely a difference. S&P 500, this is Bitcoin versus the stock market. And you guys look, man, it's been there's some positive news that came out from the Fed today. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But you can see S&P 500 and Bitcoin has been highly correlated. As the stock market rolls over, we'd seen a pullback yesterday and then a bounce today in both the stock traditional markets and Bitcoin. So now we just need the Fed to keep just printing money, this quantitative easing, unlimited quantitative easing, just keep on pumping. But is this creating this giant bubble? And does it affect Bitcoin's price? I mean, clearly they're definitely correlated here. What are your thoughts on this in the comment box? So the Fed says it's going to start buying individual corporate bonds, and the stock market rallied on this idea. So this is a part of a continuing effort to support market functioning and ease credit conditions. So they're going to buy up $750 billion with a B, worth of corporate credit. This is largely considered a watershed moment for the financial markets that are essentially struggling because of the panic situation that's going on in the world. Now, the Fed, they've been deploying this historically aggressive policy, and they've made these moves over the past 3 months. So Monday's action, again, raised fear of overreach as the central bank helps prop up a credit market laden with zombie companies whose revenues don't cover their debt payments. Initial thought is this, the United States is creating this huge bubble. And I'm just telling you, this panic situation needs to, if it comes back, if we get another wave of this situation, building a bubble here, guys, build a fiat currency. And this, I think over time, will definitely help Bitcoin. Definitely help the ideas we talk about every day in cryptocurrency. But initially, I think that Bitcoin's kind of tied to financial markets, and you might see some type of pullback based on market pullback if the stock S&P 500 pullback. So again, I think there's a lot of things happening over the next 5 years that are going to change the game completely for not only the U.S. dollar, the federal government in the United States, as well as cryptocurrencies stepping in to take over. I like the sounds of that. Step in to take over. So now, in after-hours trading, traditional markets are, pretty green at this point. So they've had a 1,000-point swing on the Dow, which has been a turbulent day, they stated. This is a Bitcoin CME futures, and there was a previous CME gap, which has now been filled. So what I want to talk to you about is this idea. Here, Bitcoin put in a low, and then you have a high. Okay, now here's a Bitcoin lower low. So this is a potential lower high. This is a confirmed downtrend at this point. Okay, if this continues down. So this series of lower highs, lower lows, again, Bitcoin is building a downtrend. Now you also have the histogram here showing that positive momentum is decreasing. The MACD is curving lower. Potentially you get a MACD bearish cross. Again, this is a 1 hour time frame. You've got possible hidden bearish divergence. So this occurs in a downtrend and means that there'll be continuation of the downtrend, alluding to the fact that this would be a lower high, in fact, if this is confirmed. So really the big make or break moment was actually happened right here with this MACD cross, this sell signal, when Bitcoin put in a high at about 10,000, 10,100, and then had that big pullback and broke this macro trend line. You have to say, hey, look at this. Attention, attention, attention. This hasn't happened in months and months and months. This trend line had been respected multiple times, and now it's not. Now it's changed. So we know Bitcoin's not going to move in a straight line. You get some type of small pullback. There's still the idea, the bullish idea that, you know, you could get a bounce here, put in some type of little inverse head and shoulders, and then a move higher. But again, the bulls, we need to see a break above, 9,500, 9,600, and then you still have to deal with 10,000, 9,800. The bulls' work is cut out for them. This lower trend line breaks and you'll see 8,500, possibly 7,800, 7,000. Bitcoin dominance update. So altcoins will bleed as this trends higher. So you can see this is the dominance of Bitcoin. I've got a bigger picture of this to show you and just to understand. So as this is made up primarily, the altcoin market cap is made of primarily the larger cap altcoins by percentage. So we still, a lot of these, it's kind of these hidden gems, and they're actually taking off pretty well. I mean, these altcoin season, mini altcoin season, like these smaller and micro caps kind of fly under the radar. A lot of people don't see this. Mainstream or the herd, they definitely don't even pay attention to any of this because they're potentially all stuck on Coinbase. Now, this is big picture. You want to see the most epic altcoin upside will happen when this breaks lower. This is a rising wedge. We might be just putting in a bottom and continuation to the upside before this break lower. But when this thing breaks to the downside, these altcoins will explode. Remember here, this altcoin season, this little mini altcoin season, man, this thing was epic. Just know that there's going to be an epic altcoin season, maybe not on par with that one time ever altcoin season that we had in 2017, but dude, 2x, 3x gains, let's take it. Like we've gotten, just on this little mini altcoin season, we've got some huge gains. I mean, remember Theta up 400%. There's a ton of big money to be made trading these smaller cap altcoins. So let's get this bounce out of the way. And then boom, epic altcoin season. This is GRS. I talked to you guys about this yesterday. A bunch of news on this. This is actually up 14.5%. Not that you would ever listen to anything that I say or trade it. If you don't know how to use a stop loss or buy a breakout or buy a pullback or zoom into a lower term time frame and set some alerts, do not trade this. Skip this entire section. However, this is where the money's made right now. Now, this is Chromia. And I want to encourage you guys, and I'll talk to you a little bit about this real quick, as far as zooming into the lower term time frames. Now you got this falling wedge, 68% chance it breaks to the upside. Here's your target up here. Over here in this white box is your target, right, in Satoshis. Now, you want to buy the breakout of this. In order to confirm a breakout, you need volume confirmation and a candle body close above this trend line. Potentially there's this little inverse head and shoulders. So what I want to elaborate on is zooming into the lower term time frames, and potentially you wouldn't even notice this on the higher term time frames, right? There's a lot of data here. It can be noise, it can be too much information, but the important thing is you can find patterns that you can trade on the lower term time frames. Smaller patterns, smaller time frames, smaller profits, but you can nail your entries. Also, I want to show you down here. So you got this like inverse head and shoulders, which did break out and did play out previously. And so essentially you could have nailed this. If you bought the retest here, you'd be up 12%. And if you think about what, how long does it take to get 12% out of Bitcoin or Ethereum? A lot of these larger caps, like lately, you haven't seen it because it hasn't been doing anything. So again, and this would have played out over a short period of time. In 5 hours, you would have made 12%. Solid gains based on this idea. Now, it's important to understand that you might get this. Now I just want you to see this, like, potentially you got this little shoulder. Maybe this is a head. If you get a pullback here, maybe you get a shoulder. And then you zoom out, and here you are. This is your inverse head and shoulders that you're playing with. But now if you understand, like, this could potentially be the right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders are bullish reversal patterns, right? They typically break to the upside. They're bottoming patterns. You can see right here. Okay. Now, you'd have one target potentially here, and then you'd have another take profit level as well there. So Chromia has seen some significant upside recently. This is a bullish idea that, potentially you guys pay attention to. Buying Bitcoin at 8,000 or 9,000 will not matter in 2 years, says a fund manager. And I would say this thought process or ideology causes a ton of retail to lose money. Because what happens is you buy in at, let's say, there are people that reach out to me, they bought at 10,000. Let's say Bitcoin pulls back to 7,000. A lot of people, they're not used to 30% losses, right? Let's just say maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But the point is, retail comes in and they don't have a stomach for 80% pullbacks on some of this stuff. Imagine all the people that bought in at 20,000 or 14,000, then we hit $3,000 after that. People don't have the tolerance for 75% losses, right? And so what happens is they sell, they take a huge loss, and then they're done. They're done with crypto and they quit. So my thing is, yeah, it will matter, right? You always want to get as close to the bottom as possible. It's really important to treat every dollar like it's your last. Always have that. If you have this like, well, it'll all go up in the future. And I'll show you that it doesn't on some of these altcoins. Like, here's why some traders remain long on Bitcoin despite ongoing plunge. And so the idea here is, like we talked about, they're looking for a bounce here. Possibly you get this little inverse head and shoulders and a continuation to the upside. Exchange inflows surge amidst Bitcoin volatility, signaling supply outweighs demand. Obviously, price goes down. There's more of a supply than a demand, and it makes sense. But there's a bunch of Bitcoin being moved to exchanges now, which has to give you the idea that potentially people are obviously selling Bitcoin, right? People are taking profits. They see some downside potential. Waves wants to put an end to bogus blockchain speed claims. And listen, this happens in crypto. These cryptos, in general, they overpromise and underproduce. Period. Right? You're trying to essentially make a bunch of money for your blockchain, your crypto project, and you come out with these big claims like you're just trying to do something that hasn't been done yet. This is software, new software. It's slow and clunky. They're trying to scale it. Now, these speed claims are ridiculous. Some of these speed claims into the tens and hundreds of thousands, and it's like, hey, let me see this. Let me see this on paper. Show me some proof behind it, and a lot of them can't. Top Trader explains why Ethereum's rally to 1,400 in 2018 was a red herring event. Just because these cryptos ran up to a price previously doesn't mean that they'll ever get there again. Now, I think that a lot of these solid cryptos will see all-time highs, will 10x over time, but Bitcoin's going to have to hit 20,000. Bitcoin's going to have to hit all-time highs. It's going to have to bring enough people into this market. Enough retail is going to have to FOMO into Bitcoin, fall in love with the profits. They come in for greed, really. They come in FOMO, greed. They don't come here to support the technology. Let's face it, right? They come here to get rich. I'd say probably all of us came into this space for financial freedom. And we realize, hey, it doesn't happen overnight. And potentially it's all about timing. You have to buy in at the right time. It's if you're brand new to the channel or brand new to crypto, that's the most important part of this market, is understanding that these markets are cyclical and you got to get in at the right time, and do not buy the top. You know, we want to buy a pullback, buy support, sell resistance, buy low, sell high. But back to this idea. Ethereum, just to look at Ethereum's chart, there is nothing that says that just because this happened one time means it's going to happen again. However, I do feel like Bitcoin runs up to 20,000 and you'll see epic returns out of a lot of these solid altcoin projects. But just here, like this is obviously Ethereum used to be $1, right? But here at $250, up 400%. You make 400% gains on your money, right? And then you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to hold on because at this point, crypto news, what are they saying? What's crypto news saying at this point? Dude, it's going to 2,000. It's going to 3,000. Ethereum's going to 4,000. And then you lose 70% of your money. You give 70% of it back. And then you feel like you gain another, 20 or 30%, and the bottom falls out. And now you're at a loss. You're at a loss because you didn't sell anything up here. Do not get stuck in this trap. This is a trap. They're trying to trick us. They're trying to take our money, and this is how they do it. If you guys like the content that I provide on a daily basis, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below, hit the bell for notifications. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.